welcome into a Water Break Wednesday presented by Crown Royal. My name is Drew Dougherty, and that's Deepi, Sidhu, and we are here to answer all your questions. So rattle away at your keyboard, wherever you are, or on your phone, and let us know what you want to know, and we'll try to answer it. But Deepi, we just heard from head coach David Culley, and it was a pretty standard Wednesday press conference. I guess the only items of note that came out of it, he was asked about Justin Reed, and there is actually a chance he could play against the Titans. So that would be fun if we could see the safety one more time in 2021. And then he was also talking about how the run game must improve, and they're going to work on that this offseason. They'll get together and look at scheme and personnel and try to fix things. He said Davis Mills is on the right track and needs to continue to keep growing. And you know, the Texans are going to face an excellent squad coming to town because this Titans team could sew up the first seed in the AFC if they get a win. They are number one right now, but a win would ensure a bye in the first round and home field advantage if they were to win in the second round throughout. So nothing too crazy there. There's you've heard the news that Derrick Henry's going to practice today. I doubt he plays. They're probably getting him ready for the playoffs, but that's what's going on, and we will answer questions like we said. But Deepi, how are you today? What's going on?
I'm good. I think you covered it, Drew. I think that was those are pretty much the highlights of the week. It's a big game for the Titans, and I think the Texans want to come in and play spoiler. I mean, why should the Titans get the number one seed in the AFC and a bye at the hands of the Texans? The Texans certainly are not going to just allow that to happen at home. We all remember what happened a few weeks ago when the Texans went to Nashville, and I think the Titans remember that as well. So they're taking this game very seriously, which is why you see all those reports of Derrick Henry. I mean, I'm very curious to see what happens with him. I was talking to Jim Wyatt, who covers the Titans, and he says that, I think they're going to get Derrick Henry out there to probably practice, get a few reps, see how he does. And they have to figure out how they want to handle it. But right now, that Titans run game is doing very well with some familiar faces in Deontay Foreman and Dontrell Hilliard. So if they don't need to bring back Derrick Henry, it'll earn him possibly a few more weeks of rest if the Titans do indeed earn that first round bye with a win on Sunday. And if not, maybe they'll trot Derrick Henry out here at NRG Stadium for his first game off of IR after breaking his foot over a month ago. So we shall see. It should be a fun game either way on Sunday. A lot at stake here in the AFC South.
No doubt. And it always seems like it's anecdotal, but it always seems like these two teams play the final week of the season. That's what happened last year. Tennessee bounced in a field goal off the upright to get in to the playoffs to end the season. And a couple years before that, or a couple years ago, the Texans had locked up their playoff bid and they couldn't move up or down no matter what happened. So they rested a bunch of guys. Deshaun Watson did not play. The Titans won that one. But over the years, yeah, these two teams have played in the final game of the season, and that's happening again now, except this is week 18, DP, and not week 17.
It's very weird. It's very weird to say week 18. Yeah. And it does feel like a really long season. It does feel like usually around New Year's Day, that's when things are wrapping up for the regular season. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, I think at least with the new IR rules, you can bring guys back. The COVID list and the expanded practice squad, more guys are able to play. And you mentioned Justin Reed. He went on the COVID list on Monday. So, if all goes well for him as far as health-wise and COVID-wise, he could possibly play again on Sunday too. But it has been definitely a long season. And I know a lot of Texans fans looking forward to the offseason because there's a lot to look forward to this offseason.
There sure is. And we're going to get into that in just a second, but we want to let you know, we got folks watching us all over the world, like German Texan. Christian, how are you? We appreciate you checking us out. Adam is a faithful watcher of this and all the products of HoustonTexans.com and Texans TV. And Adam wants to know, because of another 1,000-yard season, where does Brandon Cooks rank among the all-time Texans receivers? Well, he's up there at the tippy top. I mean, he is, aside from Andre Johnson and DeAndre Hopkins, the only Texan to ever have a 1,000-yard receiving season. And now he's done it twice. Did it in 16 games. So he's up there. I mean, I think he's, right behind those two at the very top. He is excellent. I mean, probably the most underrated receiver in the NFL. He's never been to a Pro Bowl, which I find astounding because it's 6 seasons now that he's had 1,000 yards or more receiving, and it hasn't mattered who's been his quarterback, whether it's Tom Brady, whether it's Drew Brees, whether it's Jared Goff, Deshaun Watson, and now the mix of Tyrod Taylor and Davis Mills. He just cranks out 1,000-yard seasons, and that's very, very admirable. That's very, very impressive.
Yeah, certainly. And you know what? I think when Brandon Cook signed here with Houston, none of us expected him to have the sort of production that he's had, and so consistently. You know, you mentioned it, two back-to-back seasons with 1,000 yards receiving, and they're and 2 years where the Texans offense has struggled a lot at times. For him to put up those sort of numbers, and everyone knows he's the number one wide receiver, and yet he still he with those one-on-one balls, he certainly goes up and he plays bigger than his size. Those contested catches, he certainly always comes down with them. And I was talking to Jonathan Joseph about it. He was doing the pregame show with us here this past Sunday, and he said that just from watching Brandon Cooks, he'd met him over the course of their playing careers. He said it just seems like a really smart wide receiver. Like he just plays really smartly, like very intelligently. He is where he's supposed to be on the field. And that's really how he's able to bring down a lot of those catches and rack in those yards and really be a dependable target no matter who's throwing him the ball. So I really look forward to seeing more of Brandon Cooks. He's certainly a great leader in the locker room and on the field and off the field. And we've gotten a chance to get to know him here over the last few years. And he's just really lovely. I mean, that's how I would describe everybody I like. He's lovely. He's really great to get to know, and we've really enjoyed getting to cover him. And I was really excited for him because it took him until nearly the end of the fourth quarter to get those 55 yards to get him over 1,000.
Yeah. Bethany has this. Should we draft Aiden Hutchinson out of Michigan? And listen, that guy's awesome. I don't know if he's going to get to the Texans. The Texans aren't going to probably pick till third at best. I think that guy could be gone, but he's somebody that sure would look good, I think, in just about any uniform. Doesn't matter which of the 32 teams is picking, but he's an impressive player. There's been some chatter about how he performed against Georgia, and he didn't put up big numbers, but they clearly put a big focus on how they protected their quarterback when they faced Michigan and Hutchinson, and he still was able to kind of do some things. So he's an impressive guy. I'm sure he'd look impressive here, but I don't know that he lasts this long, Deepi.
Yeah, especially you've got Detroit picking number 1 or possibly number 2. They've certainly seen their share of Michigan games up there as well. And so I could see him going to Detroit, but maybe that bowl game performance will let him drop to where the Texans draft. You never know. Sometimes things just have a funny way of working out like that.
Yeah, and Givens, speaking of the draft, yeah, and Givens, is it Ernest Givens? I don't think so, but Givens is asking, looking forward to the draft, what position should the Texans focus on the most? I think the best player available is what you go with here, because the Texans probably going to pick anywhere from 3, 4, and 5. And if it is a defensive end and that's the best guy there, take him. If it's a cornerback who's the best player there, take him. Safety, take him. Offensive line, take him. Just go with the very best, because I think if you pigeonhole yourself into a position, and they're not going to do that, no team really does that, you'll find yourself in trouble. But I think the Texans are going to get a great difference maker, and I can't wait to see who it is.
Yeah, you've got so many guys on one-year contracts that are leaving at the end of the season that may not return. So you're going to have a lot of positions of need. I think it really is one of those drafts where, and we've said it over and over again, like just take the best available, because you're going to need to add depth, and you're going to need to add starters pretty much at every level of the defense, along the offensive line, on offense, on defense, wherever you pick guys, you're going to be able to plug and play. I think there's a lot of pass rushers in the top 10. So you can never have too many good pass rushers. Your secondary might be depleted, especially with the departure of a lot of guys this year and with all the injuries that you've had. So yeah, I'm all for it. I mean, I think best available. I'm anxious to see who stays after this year, which free agents that can sign. I think that's going to obviously dictate maybe some positions of need become less positions of need. But in any case, Drew, I'm with you. Just take best available. And I think it's wide open. The floodgates are wide open right now who the Texans could draft.
Yeah, and lots of people have asked me, hey, are you guys going to do a draft party this year? And yes, the Texans are going to do it, but I don't think it's going to be in the stadium. I think they're going to move it someplace else. But it's been a while since we had a first-round draft party here at NRG Stadium or anywhere, and it's coming back. That I can almost guarantee, but I'm not going to definitely guarantee because of everything going on in the world. And like the last time I guaranteed something or said something very stridently, things didn't work out so well here. But Deepi, good stuff as always. Always fun to be with you. And it's always fun hearing the sweet, soft voice of Tyler Marcotte and Amanda Caffey in my ear, because they're the ones behind the scenes that make this all happen. So kudos to them. And kudos to you for watching and being a Texans fan. We love you. We wouldn't be here without you. This has been a Water Break Wednesday presented by Crown Royal.